A big part of my opt-in process for my prospects is to have them schedule an appointment to come in and actually meet with one of my staff. And as part of that process, we send out emails to remind them about the appointment. The problem is the emails that we send have these dates configured in very sort of computer speak. They're not very personable. It doesn't look like a person actually wrote it. It looks like a system email, so people ignore them. So what I want to do is change this date into a date like a human would actually write it so that it can be a little bit more personable in the emails that we send. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use plus this in Infusionsoft to set up this campaign in this sequence to change that date into a human speak date that I can then merge into the email, and we can go from there. So I'm going to go into plus this. I'm going to go into the Implementers Toolkit, and then I'm going to select Humanize Infusionsoft Dates. Now the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to choose the consult scheduled date that I'm using on that internal form. So I'm going to choose consult scheduled date, and then I'm going to choose the field that I want to put the new human speak date into. And I have this test field that I'm going to use for that. Now, in terms of the format, I actually like to have the day written in there. That's how I would write it. So I'm going to choose that, and then I'm going to give it a name. Now, the feature URL that plus this gives, I'm going to have to go and run that at the very beginning of the sequence inside Infusionsoft. So let's go to the campaign in Infusionsoft. Now, there's a couple things we're going to have to do here. Okay. First of all, we need to make sure that plus this has enough time to humanize that date before this email is sent. So we need to have a timer in between that process being run and this email being sent. But also, we can't have a delay timer and a field timer on the same line. So we're actually going to have to start a new line of automation here. We're going to bring these two pieces of automation here down yonder. And then I'm going to connect it in this way. Now what I need to do is get rid of this line. Move this guy over here. First, we're going to have the HTTP post, which is actually going to humanize the date. So we're going to bring this in first. And inside here, we're going to drop the feature URL that we copied out of plus this. Just like that. We don't have to mess with any of the name value pairs, any of that configuration. That's already all pre-configured for us. Connect this up this way. And then we need to have a 15-minute delay timer. Okay, so we're going to go up to timers. Delay. We're going to configure this to just run 15 minutes later. Okay. Then once we connect all these things together, what's going to happen is now once we schedule somebody for that consultation, first thing that's going to happen is plus this is going to take that date and turn it into something that someone would actually use. Then we're going to wait 15 minutes, and then that first email is going to go out, which for me is fine because people don't actually realize how long it takes for those emails to, or for the scheduling of the consult to actually happen. So if it takes 15 minutes, it's not a big deal. Now, the next thing I want to do is inside this confirmation email, I want to change it so that I am actually taking advantage of these new fields that I'm using. I want to change the format of it so it looks like a human actually wrote it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this sentence here. In fact, I'm going to get rid of all of this stuff with the date. And I want to change this to say, you're all scheduled for your appointment on, and then I'm going to merge in the new field that's got the human speak information in it, which is that test field. And then I want to say at, and then we'll use the time. So now it's going to say, we have you all scheduled for your appointment on such and such date at such and such time. Okay, just like a human would actually write it. And then we'll go back to the campaign, publish this, and we are good to go.